Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Interviews, Stories, and Tales with Brett Vaughn. We got Cody King on tonight. Again, we're going to keep him as busy as we can while he's bound up. We're just talking dogs with Cody King. Lots of good conversation. And if you want to watch this live, go every Monday night to YouTube's Interviews, Stories, and Tales. Now let's get to the podcast.
This guy's Hunter. We were going down a steep grade down into a bottom of a little creek bed, and it was real steep. And he let his feet get behind him, and he leaned forward, and he fell as hard as anybody I've ever seen. I mean, he went right over that mule, harder than I did, where they tease me all the time over there at Clumps. I mean, he fell forward, and he hit the bottom of that creek bed and boom, knocked all the air out of him. Didn't break any bones. So you'll see him in this. I'll show you this little video, and you can see where I ask him what's going on. So let me share this little video, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
You got a smile now.
Ah, that's how you do it all, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think he's more than a night old.
If it was last night, they'd be on top of each other.
Real tight.
And then there's some dogs in there that are like 12-hour-old type dogs, and they're not. I say we keep pushing.
It's a different address.
Hey, I interrupted the video.
Oh, just for me.
Yeah, sorry.
It was a different address. It was, I don't know, it's weird.
I don't know. I had an update today.
Oh,
so,
on your Chrome?
Yeah, on everything.
Yeah.
Everything updated.
I just had to reset all my stuff.
Huh.
Do I got a delay?
No, you
Maybe.
seem like you're fresh. I don't know
No,
what happened.
No, it wouldn't let me log in. And then when you just sent me another eCam thing, it had a different address on it. So I was about to log into that one, but I don't know.
You interrupted my little video I was showing everybody.
Start it over.
I'll see if I can start it from where we left off. People don't want to see the same thing over. I think he's more than a night old.
If it was last night, they'd be on top of each other.
Real tight.
And then there's certain dogs in there that are like 12-hour-old type dogs, and they're not. I say we keep pushing.
So how do you use Onyx Maps?
Well, I pull it out of my pocket and I look at it, and I make a good guess.
We would have not known where to go. Okay, how old is it?
Too old to trail.
How do you feel?
Feel good.
Not aching too bad?
Nope.
Man, that is a little door, isn't it? No lions.
No lions.
Well, older. There was an older scrape earlier that day, but he had a hunter, so he don't want to be trailing for 2 days trying to catch a lion. They want to make sure they find an overnight track. So what's going on? What's going on with the Arizona Working Dog Alliance? Anything new?
Just trying to give away a dog box for a side-by-side. So if you want to win a side-by-side dog box that will be built within a week or two, not a year, go to azwda.com and you get $25 in entry or $5 for $100.
Did you see that deal I sent you from Hal for Wildlife?
Which one? I got so many of those today. I got the one for the bear hunting in California.
Yeah.
I've kind of known about that for a little while. We just really couldn't say too much about it because,
Here we go.
But I did say they're going to get their dogs back.
There's the one-armed bandit.
What are you doing, man?
Sitting here telling lies.
Yeah.
I got plenty of those. Let me tell you how this happened. There I was. The dogs had a 200-pound Tom Mountain Lion babe. And they got one of my dogs down, and I punched that lion in the face. That's what happened.
Turned around.
That claw just came right on down your arm, didn't it?
Yeah. Once this is done, I'll have all kinds of good stories made up.
I've had that happen to me before. I just wrapped it up with an ace bandage and kept on hunting.
Yeah.
Another 3 days out there.
What are you doing, Chris?
Oh, man, I couldn't get on for a while. I guess my computer had updated, and I had some things not working right with my Chrome because, Microsoft decides they just want to change everything whenever they want. So, and there's nothing worse than an update on your phone, on your computer, because then
Y'all want to know what I'm doing?
Oh.
Eating cookies?
Eating cookies.
Better watch it.
A young lady that watches y'all's live sent these to me today.
I seen that. That's pretty special right there.
Yeah, It was pretty cool. So.
Yep. Well, that's all right. I was in the house eating, and I was trying to log on, and my wife says, "You better check your Snapchat." And I did, and I had made me some cowboy coffee, and I threw a pot holder I moved the pan out of my way, took my coffee off the burner, put some cold water in it, dropped them coffee grounds. I had moved the pan over, threw a pot holder on it, went and poured my coffee, made it, came out to the trailer, and I guess I left the burner on that pan, and that old pot holder was on fire, burning real good. And she says, "You just tried to burn us down alive in here."
That'll do it.
Yep. Good eye.
What's cowboy coffee?
Boiled coffee.
Oh, you boil some water and throw it in the pot. And there ain't nobody in this world that will drink coffee out of a coffee pot, just a regular. All that does is flavor the water. When you boil that coffee, it boils all that acid out, makes it real smooth. You'll see the color of the coffee. If you put a light in it, it's real cloudy. I don't drink regular. I don't drink coffee. So
I was hunting down in Mexico one time, and I was pretty far down in Mexico, and they have kind of what you would call an Indian reservation. In Mexico, they have what they call ejidos, and it's ancestry land, and this one ejido was way up in the mountains, and there wasn't 6 people that lived on the whole thing. We got done hunting one morning and went over there, and an old lady, dirt floors, no power, living off the land, little mud huts, and they would take ebony beans and crack them open and roast them and then grind them up, and that's what they made their coffee with.
You can do it with mesquite beans too.
I'm not
juniper berry tea.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but I should have drank some.
I don't drink coffee either if I boil it, I'll drink it. And if you drink this and then you drink a pot of coffee, I don't know how people can drink that Crap.
Is that a soup can? I mean, do I need to hold a fundraiser to get you a dang coffee mug?
I
Oh,
sell.
he sells them. He sold me too.
Yeah, I gave
Oh
Plump
yeah.
some. Yeah, it just. I'm gonna order. You can see the handle on it. Wait, let me turn it
No,
around.
the other way.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're going backwards.
Yeah, little handle on it.
Custom made.
I usually got a. If you look at my truck, I have a couple of them on back of my truck that I just carry beaner on my truck, and Brett carries one on his saddle when he remembers.
Yeah, I got 2 on my water jug on my trailer too.
Yeah.
Randy, yes. Benny's little friend sent me these cookies. That's exactly right. I've just about foundered on them. I don't know how they're so soft. I don't. I'm kind of a cookie entrepreneur, and usually cookies get hard after.
Oh
But they're
man.
so soft, and then they're freaking delicious. They'd really be good with that coffee you got, probably, Chris.
Yeah, it
But
would.
yeah,
Yep.
no, I don't know. Of course, I've never had any northern Montana cookies before, so maybe that's just how they roll up there. But
Maybe it's because it's
yeah,
so
they're pretty
moist
good.
up there. Leave them
Yeah.
out in Texas for a day; they'll dry out. Don't worry.
So Chris, when you make your cowboy coffee, do you drop some cold water in it to sink the grounds when you're done?
Yeah, but I still sometimes I'll drink it. I got a little filter I bought on
Don't you put
Amazon too.
salt in it to do that?
No, I don't know. I've never tried that.
Drop some cold
That's
water.
it.
I when I lived off grid up there, I made cowboy
Mhm.
coffee every morning, but I'd always
Yeah,
drop a little bit
it's a
cold
big
water.
difference in taste when you boil the coffee. And then sometimes I'll make a couple pots and pour it in my wife's coffee pot, and I'll just pour it through her filter. And the grounds, I use just as much grounds in mine as I do hers. And when I pour it in there, those grounds aren't as big, so it really boils those grounds down. So when you make coffee pot, you got grounds about this deep in there. When I pour it out of my cup, my pot into that filter, I only got grounds about that deep in there. Kind of weird. It just really maybe sucks those grounds down and boils them out. But you boil all the acid out. That's why it's so smooth.
Yeah, I seen a guy put salt in it one time. A guy I was
Kind of
hunting
make.
with.
I don't know. I'm a sissy. I like caramel, so I'll throw some caramel stuff in there, creamer or milk. I'll put milk in it, but mainly just to cool it down. So
Big old sissy.
I am.
I
But
drink mine black.
yeah, I drank my dad's the other day out of a coffee pot. And man, I didn't like it. It was bitter. It's just
Well,
not bitter. And everybody I've made coffee for, they say it's the best coffee.
so I got a
Speaking of that, I
story.
sell coffee.
I know. I was
keep
waiting for that
forgetting.
segue.
I'm not a very good salesman. I forgot. Born 100 years too late, full cry. So you're helping both Jason Doobie with the Full Cry magazine and then also my channel. So there you go. That's the only plug I'm going to give. Go ahead, Cody. I'm sorry. I got in trouble for interrupting the other night. I don't want to make you mad at me.
So I got to get ahead of this a little bit. All right, I got some damage control that I got to do. So there's a young man named Ben Sheets that has a podcast called
Yeah,
Tree Talking Media, and
we know. Ben's been on our show.
long before my arm got hurt, he had reached out to me and said, "I'm coming to Texas to film a coon hunt, and I'd really like to come down to South Texas and go bobcat hunting with you." And I said, "Sure." And then he said, "Well, I'd like to film it." And I said, "Sure, no problem." And so he comes down. I've been laid up for 2 months. My dogs have been laid up for 2 months. And he literally gets here and the wind starts blowing 20 miles an hour. The humidity was low. It was dry. It was the worst conditions that conditions could possibly be. And I said, well, we'll go. So I took him hunting for one night and one morning, and couldn't get it done. Couldn't catch him a cat for his camera. And but we're driving down the road, and an armadillo walks out. And all of my dogs are standing around just looking at this armadillo. And of course, he pulls his camera out and clicks record. And, man, I can't believe how well behaved these dogs are. They're so broke. And you know me, I take advantage of any moment. Yeah, them some broke sons of guns.
Boy.
Now, about 30 minutes later, there's a skunk in the road.
Oh,
Same again. Here's my dogs just standing there looking at it. And he said, man, I can't believe how broke these dogs are. And just as he said that, old Taco come around the corner and grabbed that old skunk. And we just went to sleep.
oh
skunk,
man.
skunk spray everywhere. It was pretty comical. So if I don't, it'll probably be a long time until he puts it out, I'm sure. But whenever he does put it out, you could see some South Texas cat. You could see a South Texas cat dog catch a skunk.
Cody
So,
said, "Whose dog is that? Whose
Yeah,
dog is
yeah,
that?"
where did that dog
yeah.
come from?
I should have told him.
That's
Now,
funny.
Ben, this is why I didn't want you to bring any dogs.
Make sure you had that camera on.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he was a. I enjoyed hunting with him. Uh, he's a pizza eating fool. I'll give him that. I'll give him a little hell. For those that know him will think that's funny. He we went to eat after we went hunting, and we went to Whataburger, and he ordered French fries. And then the next day we go eat lunch at a Mexican food place, and he ordered French fries. And finally, I'd been around him long enough to where I didn't, I said, what's the deal with the French fries?" And he kept saying, "Man, I'm just a picky eater, but I'll be fine. Don't worry about it." And finally, we were driving around town, and I looked over and I said, "What the hell do you eat?" And he said, "Pizza every day."
No kidding.
so, I
Wow.
said, "Man, we can stop and get you a pizza." He's, "Yeah, that'll work for me." So we swung in and got him a pizza.
Uh,
But he went and filmed one of those competition coon hunts that happened here in Texas, actually. So
Did,
it
was he on yours, Chris, or was he on this one?
Shoot, I don't remember.
I can't
Right?
remember.
I don't remember who was on last week halftime.
I don't know. Uh, and does he have Ben Sheets? Do you know the name of his channel? Has he got a YouTube channel or?
Uh,
Tree Talking Media is the name of his podcast.
yeah,
I don't know his YouTube channel. I don't know that he's gotten big into the YouTube portion of it yet. I think that's something that's kind of new to him. Um, I may be speaking out of turn. I don't know, but
I'll be dang.
I think it's a little bit newer venture for him.
who is it? Ben Sheets calling to tell you about the skunk.
Probably. Let me see who this is
Yeah.
real quick.
I like to listen to his conversations. Could be Elon Musk or
You're fired.
you're fired.
No more government. No more government funding. We're shutting YouTube down.
What do they got? You heard anything about any more of that legislative stuff or people trying to shut you down in Texas?
No, it. So those people that came in last year, the Mountain Lion Foundation.
Yeah,
They um they came in last year, and their kind of MO is to come in and tell these wildlife agencies that y'all need to change these regulations or we're going to sue you. And I think they try to bully their way into getting as much as they can.
they do
Well, they
bully.
they they came to Texas, and I think the Texas Parks and Wildlife response was, "Well, Texas is private land, so who are you going to sue?"
Yeah,
And so they came back kind of hat in hand, just asking for something so they could, tell all of their donors that they had a victory.
well, that's
And they
what they want to
changed,
do. Get that
yeah,
little bit every time.
yeah. And they changed the trapping regulations on mountain lions. It is now illegal for a mountain lion to be in a trap for more than 36 hours. So,
You know what? Oh, that day and a half.
yeah.
I don't know. People who say they don't check their traps for 72 hours and stuff. That's crazy to me because I grew up, we checked our line every day. For one, I don't want mountain
Well,
lion eating my.
you're trapping fur though. So
Yeah,
these guys are trapping just for predator control purposes. There's no
yeah,
value to the dead animal.
yeah,
And I'm not so just to make it perfectly clear, my stance on it is check your traps. No
yeah.
animal should have to die. And that was kind of my beef with the state when they changed that rule was, I came in and said, so it's against the law for a mountain lion to be in a trap for more than 36 hours. And yes, but it's not against the law for a coyote to be in a trap for more than 36 hours. And they said, that is correct. And that pisses me off because from a purely ethical standpoint, what difference does it make?
A life's a life.
If it's yeah, a life is a life. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, but it's the optics, and
Well,
so
it's all about aesthetics and what people see and what they can get. That's what people don't understand is they'll come in, you go over, you bully someone, you say, I want your truck. No. All right, well, I'm not leaving until I get your tires. I'm not giving you my tires. Well, I'm taking your hitch. Jesus Christ, take the hitch
yeah,
and get out of here.
yeah,
That's what happens.
exactly.
And then guess what? Next time they're coming back for your tires or your tire on.
Yeah,
Like it just keeps going until you're so sick of it. You're like, just take the truck. If you leave me alone, just take the truck.
yeah.
And that's what those animal activists do. It's ridiculous. I think
Now
a
the
lot of these legislatures are starting to see the pattern. I think
yes,
because of people like me and Hal and WC, I don't know, the Colorado for Wildlife, CRWM, all these people, they got to get their shit together and start making noise, you know. And
yeah,
I'm not talking making noise like some people say, and like, oh, let's just go put everything we do on the internet. That's what we do. It's freedom of speech, blast them. I don't think that's the right
yeah.
way. Some people do. I don't. I seen even the hog people. I seen a hog thing today where hog was just messing up a dog a little bit in a pen. And I'm like, man, that's just nothing you want to see on the internet. This is something the common public. This is all I'm talking about. I don't care about hunters. I don't care about the anti-hunters. The common public is the people you have to be careful about. And I don't think they understand this. Like people that little stuff will take a non-hunter and make them an anti-hunter real quick, you know.
Yeah.
And it's easier to make a
No,
non-hunter an anti-hunter than it is to make a non-hunter a hunter.
but you can't. You have to understand that for a person to say that, oh, let's just put whatever we want on the internet, post it all. That if you look at it from Texas and you look at it just hunting hogs, hogs are a non-native species.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about them. You're
Nope.
in Texas. No one's trying to take your rights away. If all you had to worry about was Texas, that's probably best. I just post it. It is what it
Yeah.
is. No one's going to make it illegal. Let them get used to it. But it's not only Texas.
Well,
It, it
yeah. The internet don't stop in Texas.
yeah,
So those people in California and New York and Chicago and all these places, they don't have that. Those are the people that get involved and send people money. Period.
yeah.
Brett's back. No more politics. No
We
more.
can't talk bad about Brett no more.
I don't care.
I don't care. He don't even know how to cut his hair no more. Anyways.
Look at that. I th-
I'm just as bad. I'm getting pretty shaggy myself.
Yeah,
I think it
I'm
makes me
all over
look.
the place.
I think it makes me look younger.
My hair's turning gray. Chris's hair's turning loose.
Yeah, that's fact,
Sucks to get old, guys.
man.
Well, you ain't telling me nothing.
Yeah,
I
yep.
bet.
Madison Bisbee, thank you for the cookies. Wherever
He was
you are,
eating them.
young lady. I know, they're good.
There
He
she
was eating
is,
them
right
Thank
earlier.
you
there.
for the
Right
cookies.
there
Yep,
she is.
Okay, Cody King, did you ever get my cookies?
he was eating them on
Mm.
air. Look at him,
And
and
they're
Mm.
and
he
they're almost
and he
gone.
bragged. He bragged
No, they
about
didn't. They didn't come in. You better send some more.
it, and he bragged
yes,
about them.
I yes I did, young lady, and they're very delicious and they meant a lot. You sure put a smile on this old man's face, and I sure
Yep.
appreciate it. When my arm heals up, You mark my words. I'm gonna bring my dogs. I'm gonna come and go hunting with Madison
Yep.
Bisbee. So
Well, come to that
she better
rendezvous in
be
August. She'll be there.
if she'll bake me some cookies. I'll drive all the way to Montana or Washington, wherever she is, and we'll go hunting.
Yep.
Drop by and pick me up. I'll film it.
Yep. We'll
That'll
just
work.
caravan up there.
You said she'll be at the rendezvous?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty
Dadgum
sure
camera.
they were last year, and they say they're coming this year. Right, Madison?
Where's the rendezvous?
Young, Arizona.
When
Over.
is the rendezvous?
Oh, August 23rd ish, 2nd, 23rd,
Is
24th,
there
that
any
weekend.
bobcats? Is there any bobcats
There
in the
is a lot of
vicinity of
bobcat
the
in Young.
rendezvous?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a few between here and there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Couple
Anyway,
They
that
catch
may
a
be.
lot of them over there. One guy catches a lot of them over there. So,
Does
Yeah.
he do it?
No,
Does he do it dry ground or does he do it in the
no,
snow?
dry ground.
Dry
Mhm.
ground.
Dry,
Who is
dry,
that?
dry ground Dale Robertson. He can catch them.
Oh yeah.
So, yep.
There you go, Cody.
Brett, I was thinking about you earlier. A guy had a Facebook post of a female mule with a little baby.
I seen that. They say
Did you see
Every
it?
rare.
so if they have what? So mules have what? 62 chromosomes or 63. They have to have 64 to breed, and every once in a while, I have a paint stud at my dad's, and I always wanted to just throw my mules or just my girl on my mule Sage and Ruth. I just want to throw them in there. Maybe they're that one, and I missed out. My cousin had a guy who was going to give him one or going to sell him one, and I found about it a little bit too late. But it was a mule that had a baby, and I wish I would have snagged it up because I would have bred that mule to my paint stud. He's old. I got to get him bred before he dies. That'd be cool.
that's cool.
Yeah, I've seen it one time before somewhere on internet or something. But I wonder what they grew out like. Whoop! Everybody's frozen again.
I froze up. There you
Yeah,
are.
everybody did. I wonder what they mature like. If they have. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris is
I
like
don't know.
stammy over there. Are you okay, Chris? He
He's
can't
thinking
hear us.
about his stud horse, his paint stud
Can you
horse.
see us, Chris? Can you even see us? He can't even see us, and he thinks we can't see him.
Yeah. Well, this is good. Now we talked about you for a little while. Now we talk about Chris.
Just watch Chris's eyeballs. Watch the way they go back and forth, looking. Look it down, up. Look, now he's froze. There he is.
He
Look
looks
at him.
froze, but he's
He is.
not froze.
He's not froze, but he can't hear us. Watch him. He's looking down. Watch. I'll send him a text message. Tell him quit picking his nose. We can see him.
Oh, he left. He left.
Oh shoot! He had to leave. That had to be on his end.
Yeah. He said he was having trouble getting on, so I'm
Here he
sure
comes.
something else.
Here he comes. Let me see if I can get this right. Yep. Are you okay, Chris? We can't hear
Can't hear you.
It's because I had it on mute,
You couldn't hear us or see us earlier?
and I could see comments, but it was just froze.
We could watch you. Your eyes were moving back and forth and everything. Now Cody's doing a somersault over there.
Someone calls me and it makes my phone vibrate and then it slides down the granite countertop.
That's what you've got. A bunch of rednecks in here trying to do live. That's
I think I have. I think I have to replace something in my Starlink. I'll be honest. I think something either that or just too many people on anymore. Like right now, I'm clear as a bell. It's beautiful right now. But I did a speed test while I was logging back on, and shoot, man, my upload's 14 megabytes. So it's
is that good?
yeah.
Hey, is Rick Cooley in here tonight?
Rick Cooley.
Rick, are you
I
there?
know
I thought I seen him post here somewhere earlier.
he texted me earlier.
There he is.
So Rick sent me a video earlier, and he's been running some coons into den trees. He's been doing it quite a bit, and I find it interesting because we don't have many trees that are more than about that big around. So there's never, there's not many trees in South Texas that an animal could hide inside of, and But thinking about it, after he sent me that video, that'd be a pretty big problem in Big Timber, huh? When them raccoons are having babies and stuff, or when are they?
There's like in California or any of those other places, those bears go in den trees. It's crazy.
Really?
Little holes. Someone just posted something, and it looked like a bear den tree. That hole wasn't as big as my screen on my monitor right now. I was like, how the hell? But them bears, they're like them coons. They squeeze right into those. I have a question though, and it was either Rick or George Morris. Somebody might have been Rick. He said they went fox hunting somewhere, or they went cat hunting somewhere, but they're treating a lot of cats. Let me look it up here. He just messaged me before I got on. And he said we catch a lot of foxes, and he heard that those foxes will roll in cat urine, and that's why sometimes them dogs will run them cats. You guys ever heard of that?
I know I've seen videos of them rolling in scrapes before.
I think that's what he's talking about.
That's always been my
I can tell you
excuse
what,
why my
Ruben,
dogs run foxes.
I could tell you what Ruben Lossman would say right now, boys. I'm not, and it wouldn't be you know. How'd you come up with that crap?
It's Rick Cool.
You're
No,
for
listen,
some
let me read it.
trashy dogs, man.
Let me read it. Let me read it. I hunted with a guy from the Department of Natural Resources this weekend. He said the reason my dog is running foxes is because fox is rolling in bobcat urine. Is that true?
No, I mean, well,
You had a
Well,
video
don't
of
they
them
smell like
rolling
a
in
cat?
lion.
yeah, I had a video of one rolling in, but that's a dog can differentiate between all kinds of. They
Yeah,
say a dog lives in a world of smells, like we live in a world of colors. You can see. I mean, they
I've
can see.
had I've had hunters, old timers, tell me that a fox smells just like a cat.
I've
And that you
heard that.
shouldn't. You know, and that a cat is actually a fox is actually in the cat family, and you hear all these myths over the years, and I don't. Number one, that's a myth. They're not in the cat family, but
They
uh,
move like a cat, though.
yeah. But I I would have a hard time buying
Believing
that.
that they just run the fox because it rolled. And, I worked in
Yeah,
search and rescue. I worked at the sheriff's department. And when you could take a dog and let them smell a hat, and this is people, and I imagine that dogs smell each other's butts trying to figure out who it is. So even a bear has different smell. I'm sure each bear has a different smell, because if you could take a dog and differentiate a human by like a hat, and then they trail only that human. I imagine, like,
I,
let's just take raccoon and bear. If you run raccoon, you can run bear. They smell the same.
yeah,
How do we know that?
You can.
How do we know that?
yeah.
They
And
both
they
stink
and
to
they
me.
I promise you, there's a bear hunter that's got his dogs broke off raccoons, and there's a
Hmm.
raccoon hunter that's got his dogs broke off bears, just like I got my dogs broke off fox.
Have you
And
before you had your dogs broke off fox completely? Did you tree any in that country down there?
no,
Never.
no, and I've never. I treed one time, but it was a pet. Um, and that was 20 years ago. That was when I first started. It was a baby fox that someone had as a pet, and they took it to their deer lease and turned it loose there at camp. And uh, but when I was growing up, there wasn't many fox here, and now there's quite a few more than there used to be. And now I hunt a lot of country where there's a lot of fox.
I've treed a
And
couple fox, but they were just like my bobcats. They were pop ups. They weren't trail and
And I've
catch.
never, I've never treed a fox. I think I've chased a few, but I've never treed one. But I don't know. I ran more bears in the last few years than I have lions. So
Ruben always told me, he said, if you'd listen to a good fox race, you'd want to run them.
I'd
He,
love to
he
run
said
foxes because we got
they're
a bunch of
they're
them.
pretty
yep,
rich.
yep.
Yeah,
That
I
CA
think
Indian dog, she just ran a bunch of fox.
And they run pretty tight, I think.
They, I think you have too harsh a country with too many holes and boulder piles and
Oh yeah.
stuff, Brett, to run them very successfully.
Oh yeah. No, my dogs trail them. I mean, we're not successful on them, but I
Yeah.
know they trail them. I mean, I
I
can tell.
Does a lion put down more scent than a coon?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I can smell a coon more than I can smell a lion sometimes.
I don't know.
But have you been in those canyons when you're running a lion and you could smell that cat? You could smell
I
cat.
don't,
Cat piss.
I don't think dogs are trailing no 2 day old coon trails
No.
No.
No, I think
like a lion trail.
I always like to look at scent like a lion, like they don't leave a whole lot of scent, but it's a real heavy scent, and it's a real, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's real concentrated. Where like a bear leaves a whole bunch of scent, but it's real light, and
It plumes out.
yeah, exactly. So they can run it. You know.
Well, and coons, uh, they're
Be right
usually in a
back.
certain area. They don't just go across the whole country. You're not trailing a coon 12 miles, 15 miles, 2 miles. One time my friend was trailing something out in the middle of nowhere in a forest, no water, and he got treed and he thought he had a bear, and it was a coon, like in the middle of the forest. But I've seen those coons.
I caught a
Um,
coon right out here in the middle of the desert.
yeah, I've seen a
So
coon walk
I
down a
got a
road for a mile before.
I've got a scenario that I'll bring up, and I'll see what you and what those in the comment section think. So this past summer, I was hunting down in Mexico in a desert. I mean, drouthy conditions. I mean, a layer of dust. You could look for tracks just like in the snow. Just a
So
and there was a food plot which was probably 50 acres, and the entire food plot was solid dust. I mean, a mouse could not walk across there and not leave a track. Just
that
perfect
powder
tracking
stuff.
conditions. Yes, like flour.
Hmm.
So I was going along, the dogs rigged the cat. So I stopped, opened the tailgate, turn them loose. The dogs go back behind the truck. They all start wagging. I get a bark here, a bark there. It was a red hot trail, but conditions were just so terrible. They couldn't do much with it. But all of the dogs are focused on this one area, and they're all got their nose on the ground right here. And they're going across this food plot just smelling. They're whipping their tails and smelling and woo! And they're all right here together. And I get out and I can see the perfect cat track walking down the road. And he turned, and then he turned and went across that food plot. And those dogs were trailing with their nose on the ground, picking up this scent probably 15 or 20 yards from the
Off to the side.
bobcat track itself. The track was 15 or 20 yards to the left, and the dogs were on their nose ground smelling. And there was no other cat there. I mean, it was a fluke circumstance where I could see everything. And they trailed right along that track, but they trailed it 15 or 20 yards off of it. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Downwind.
There was no wind really. I always check the wind because a lot of times the cats are traveling with the wind, and there wasn't really any wind to speak of.
The
There
cats,
may have been a little earlier,
the
but
cats travel with the wind.
80% of the time,
No
if I
kidding.
start
They
a,
don't travel into the wind.
if I'm driving down a road and my dogs start a cat, they're starting him where he crossed this road. 75 to 80% of the time, I can light a cigarette lighter, see where the wind is blowing to, and 75 to 80% of the time, the dogs will catch the cat in the direction that the wind is blowing. So the
Hmm.
cat is traveling with the wind, not into the wind, which makes no sense to me.
No,
I,
no,
I, I
me
don't know.
neither.
But I've said this on this podcast before,
Yeah.
or this live before, and I have had hunters reach out to me and say, "We're going to start keeping track of this And multiple hunters have reached out to me and said that they have found that 75% of the time the cats are traveling with the wind where they hunt as well. It
That's crazy.
so that's pretty cool. If any of them guys are watching right now, back me up a little bit. But it's completely backwards of what you would think that it would be, and I don't know why.
Huh.
That picture I sent you is a bear in a den tree. The second one, I don't know why that eCams came
I
across.
was going to say, I was trying to figure out what you were doing, but just
Oh,
confused.
Tim Brink. That's a bear in a tree.
He
In a
made him
hole.
a little casita.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Cats, I have found that to be true as well. Cats also hunt with their eyes. They like to get up there and just look around, don't they?
Yeah.
On them
Who said that? I
outcroppings.
can't see comment.
Trevin Hall. Trevin Hall said, "I have found that to be true as well. Cats also hunt with their eyes."
He's
Yeah.
in Florida, and he will be here. So, Trevin, I was in the doctor's office when you messaged me earlier. Yes, Friday or Saturday is fine.
How's your arm? Have they done the skin grafts yet?
No, March 13th.
That's right. That's right.
He has to catch the
March
fish, save him
13th.
some money first.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're gonna use Cody skin for it, man. They're gonna take it off my thigh. But they don't take the whole skin down to the muscle. They just shave a layer of
No,
skin off,
the
and
first
then they
layer.
run that. Then they run that skin through like a perforator so that they can open it up like an accordion.
Tenderize it.
And yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, no, it's getting along pretty good.
How's your fingers? Do you got use of your thumb and everything?
Yeah, so so the doctors had kind of made a mistake, and turns out I was supposed to be in therapy this whole time, and they never ordered it, and I'm gonna start it in the morning. I got good use of my fingers,
Good.
but that's as far as I can open my arm. That's it.
Mhm.
I can't go no more.
is that going to
And
go away? Are you going to be able to stretch that muscle?
yeah, that's what we're gonna start working on tomorrow. They told me to take some pain pills and come in at 8:30, and they said it's be prepared for a painful endeavor, but we'll see how it goes.
I have a big old fat mean gal in there. Say, come here, you skinny little thing.
Yeah,
Do you
We're gonna
think that
work this
scent?
thing out for you.
Do you think that scent is because of maybe barometric pressure and it just they're walking even with no wind? There's always wind. There's always some sort of movement. You
yes,
think that
there's
it
pressure.
pushes it down and just kind of flows over more to the one side while they're walking?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. So I look at it. Everybody has their own theory on scent and conditions and everything, but I look at it like I don't know what a good example would be, but like you carried around fruity pebbles in your pocket, and you just drop some as you're walking along. And if there's a lot of wind, some of those fruity pebbles are going to blow, with the wind, and some ground, those fruity pebbles are just going to get blown away because it's real hard ground and there's nothing for it to attach to. But some ground's going to be rocky and porosy with lots of holes, so those fruity pebbles are going to fall down in those little cracks and stuff, and they'll still be there for a hound when he comes around. And that's why some places you can smell really good, and then some places you can't.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with scent is every houndsman has this factor that they want to pick. But in reality, I think it's 10 or 12 different factors, and it's a combination of all of those things.
Yeah.
And that makes it pretty hard to track,
Hmm.
Yeah.
barometric pressure, wind, temperature, humidity, on and on and on.
And so
It
we just make things up like the lion turned his scent off.
Yes.
Lion
Yes.
turns the scent off. The fox rolls in cat urine.
We make stories up.
Yeah. It
Uh,
yeah, I thought that was funny because what Rick say, most
well,
therapists are gay.
Yeah, get a good massage out of
Maybe that's what he meant when he said this is gonna hurt tomorrow. You better be ready.
it.
I thought he looked a little fruity, man. I didn't know what was going on.
I think in these days we have more excuses than the old days because we do have a little bit of science behind it. In the old days, they just went. They went and they went. There was no looking at a GPS. There was no looking at scientific data or barometric pressure. I wonder if they back in the 1800s did they say, "Oh, look at that smoke coming out of that chimney. We're gonna catch a lion today." You
Well,
know,
I used to tell Ruben, I'd meet him at his pens. We'd load the dogs up, and then he's driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and I'd pull out my phone. And he used to get so mad at me because I'd be looking, and I'd go, "God dang it!" And he'd say, "What, Cody?" I said, "Man, the salooner table's bad. It's only a 1 star day." And he'd say, "Screw it, let's just go home then." And he'd pull over like he was gonna, "Let's just go home." And I'd say, "No, I don't want to go home." "Then what are you looking at that crap for? Let's just go hunting," he'd say.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're exactly right. They just
Well, how
went.
many,
They just
how many,
go.
how many times have you sat there and said, "Man, today is gonna suck, wind or this or that"? And I've had a theory about the wind lately. Is if you want to put miles and do circles, wouldn't the windy days be the best to get down in these canyons because everything's hunkered down and you have more? It'd be hard to trail them, but you're not trying to trail them in the wind. You're trying to jump them. If they're hunkered
I
down out of the
don't.
wind, you're going to jump them.
Yeah, I
I
don't like to hunt in the
feel.
wind.
I
Me
don't
either.
like to hunt in the wind because you can't hear the dogs and the dogs can't hear each other. Oh,
Wayne,
Cody ever
yes,
get his cookie? Wayne, I've been eating
he's built
cookies for
a
the
whole.
last 4 hours, man. I'm foundered myself. It, but I will say this. I don't like hunting in the wind because you can't hear the dogs and the dogs can't hear each other. But I have found to be my experience that the wind doesn't affect the scenting conditions as much as I believed it to. Too many days it was super windy, and I shouldn't have went hunting. I didn't want to go hunting, but I went anyways. And then the dogs trailed pretty good. And a lot of that may be in this South Texas brush. It can be blowing like hell, but when you're in that thick brush, it ain't really blowing,
Yeah.
down
Do
on the
y'all
ground level.
do y'all have ringtail cats down there, Cody?
No, sir.
You don't.
No, sir. You
I,
took a
you know
picture
what?
of one yesterday.
I said
What?
I didn't treat foxes, but I've trailed and treat, especially in those little tiny. Those are tiny little cats, and they get in some tiny little tree holes. And when you walk up to a stump, and your dog's a treat on a stump, it's probably a ringtail cat in the roots or somewhere in a little hole in that tree. I've cut holes into a tree and seen those little ringtail cats down in a hole. That hole couldn't be that big, tiny.
I've had my dogs
But so
pull them out of rock
I
piles.
I've treated those and that's it. Like I've never treated a fox. It's weird, especially
I've
in
only
Globe.
I've only treated a couple, and then I've only caught a few bobcats, and I think they were just all well. One we trailed all the way around. I'm not going to tell a big story about it, but when I went ahead and shot it out of the tree, climbed a big pine tree, and I shot it out, and that sucker had killed a skunk. Smelled terrible. Smelled like skunk. So figured my dogs were trailing a skunk and treat a bobcat.
There you go, Cody. The physical therapy is to break loose the scar tissue. You should have been exercising that arm every day, probably. It does hurt. Where'd it go? They got my skin from my thighs as well.
Yeah.
You seen any snakes,
Yeah.
Cody?
Do what, sir?
Trevin wants to know if you've seen any snakes already, but you've kind of been not out so much.
Yeah, I haven't been out so much, but no, I haven't seen any here around the house. I saw we had a heat wave where it was kind of in the 90s. What's I can't read that. Why don't
Cody, why
you?
don't you run fox if you got a bunch of them?
Um, sometimes I have to think of the most non-offensive answer
It's
because
an
I
elite. It's an
forget.
elitist thing.
Yeah.
He's too good for it. He is too good for Fox.
So when I was young, there wasn't any here to run, so they were trash. And now we probably have enough to run, but it is my personal. I don't want my dogs to run more than one type of animal. You know,
Well, I thought you run lions and jags.
that's a, that's a cat though.
Oh, they say a fox is closer to a cat than a canine.
Oh, speaking. Well, let's talk about Jeremiah's crap. Let's give him some trouble. You guys ever heard of a river cat? Bobcat crossed with a lion. Is that true? Or is Jeremy smoking too much weed up there in Colorado? Jeremiah, sorry. Is that true?
I never
That's
heard of
like the
that before.
whitetail. That's like the whitetail breeding with the mule deer. I've seen it where the racks look like a mule deer, but it has that white tail, that little flagging
I've
tail.
I've 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 seen racks that look like mule deer off of a whitetail in South Texas
Uh-huh.
where there ain't no mule deer. So that just happens with whitetail
Mm,
in general. You know, it can happen.
yeah. You think a bobcat would breed a cat, or you think that's just some weird bobcat that got real big, or a lion that got his tail caught in a trap? That's real
I
small.
think that I think it's been done in captivity, maybe,
Oh,
Hold on, let me ask
but I
Mr.
don't
Google.
have. Wow.
and here's another thing I just learned lately. On that mountain lion sighting site, you have this one guy that don't think we can. You probably read it's that Ed guy, and he said that Brazil. He was saying, "Oh, Brazil has more lions and this and that." And I looked it up, or jaguars, and I looked it up. And Brazil has like what 60,000 jaguars to 100. I didn't
There's
realize
tons.
Brazil was as big is like 400,000 square miles bigger than the United States.
Yeah,
Something like
Brazil's
that.
giant.
Don't
That's I
quote
mean,
me.
that's rainforest stuff.
Well, he was trying to compare how many jaguars were there, and there's no attacks because we don't hunt them. He thinks lions attack here because we hunt them. And then it
Yeah,
just went
he's an
into
idiot.
100. Yeah, it just went into 200 comments, and everybody jumped. Yeah, anyways, listen, Ed Marinsky or Matowski or whatever, I appreciate
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that you're nonsense sometimes because I learned something from it. The two species are not closely related enough to lions are in genus Pantheris, Pantherolio, and mountain lions.
That doesn't
Hmm.
really make sense, does it?
See,
So
you're saying it's not possible, but you put it in a lab and it's going to be possible. They're cloning stuff.
Well, hell, we got men turning into women nowadays. They're even saying women can or men can
Yeah.
change their sex and have a baby.
no. Who
I heard
said
it.
that?
I heard it.
maybe
I
maybe
heard
he's
it on
thinking of a
CNN.
maybe he's thinking of a jaguarundi.
It
Have you guys
must
seen
it
those
must be true then.
jaguarundis? The jaguarundis. You seen those?
Hmm.
I've seen
I bet you
two.
that's what he's thinking about.
Did you see some down in South Texas? That's right. I think you sent me a picture
Yes.
of one.
Yeah, I may have. Yeah, I
Ed is
did.
a Ed is fascinated by peepees. That's a polite way. Hey, listen, Ed threw something out there, and I checked it, and I was really kind of astounded by the how many jaguars. How come they're not hunting jaguars? They have more than supposedly in the
So
United States.
there's
So
lots
why
of
don't we hunt them in
jaguars.
Brazil?
There's a lot of jaguars in Mexico.
There's
Well,
there's
yeah,
there.
and then we get one that crosses over, and everybody has this. We got to shut the whole southern Arizona border down so they can come back and forth.
Yeah.
There's probably more of them. I'm not going to say anything. Uh,
Well, it doesn't matter because they don't reside here. They're cats. They wander. You know, even a feral cat in a neighborhood you'll see over on 23rd Street, but it lives over on 9th Street mainly. Cats just
No,
kind of wander. And
oh
them
yeah, they do.
jaguars, I think jaguars just come in, poke around. There ain't nothing to breed to, and then
so
they leave.
from a person who has caught some jaguars, where I encountered them, there's no country like that here. It's not. That's kind of like the ocelots, the same thing. I mean, there's no prime ocelot country in Texas. I mean, that'd be like saying there's no polar bears because we don't see any polar bears when we go hunting. They must be extinct. And I didn't really understand it until I went down there and I seen some of those cats and I helped collar some of those cats. I mean, you take South Texas brush, but with 70, 80 foot tall trees, and then put it on top of the mountains,
It's different country.
like where Brett rides his mule every day. I mean, and I think all of those Arizona jaguars and even the Mexico desert jaguars are just migration as the prime jaguar areas fill up. They got to go somewhere, and they go up the Sierra Madres and up them mountains in Arizona because there's nowhere where I've seen jaguars. There's nowhere in the United States that has country like that. There's no habitat like that anywhere in the United States.
And the guys that
Not
I
for them to live and survive, right?
Yeah, I mean they just they can wander wherever they want to, but the all the females having babies and the the steady population where you could go hunting in the same place in 2 days and catch two jaguars. That kind of habitat, the habitat just does not exist here. It it's tough to explain. I don't know how to put it into words,
yeah.
but
And the guys
for the
I've
same
talked
reason, you're not going to find a desert bighorn sheep in the swamps of Florida. It's just not desert territory, and just like in the I don't think there was ever tons of jaguar in this area.
and the guys that I've talked to, and that not a lot of it's real well known that have ran them. They don't really care to ever run them again.
No.
Oh, that's I told the representative when I got to talk to that guy after all that. I said these people's theory of jaguars and how easy it is to run them out of a country, and I said it's absolutely false. You don't even run lions out of a country.
No.
They're watching too much of that Mountain Man
Haven't
when
you
that guy
seen
used to
Mountain
haze
Men
them
on
out.
History Channel?
That's what I
Yeah,
was
he
going to
just
say. They
hates
watch
them.
too much.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture of that caracol, Brett, and a
Oh,
jaguar,
let me
whatever it's
check.
called.
Let me check.
Caracal's an African cat.
Yeah,
Cody? Who did you hunt with when you went to Africa?
that's caracol.
Gavin.
Gavin. What did you
Yeah,
think
Gavin
about?
Lippy.
What did you think about hunting those leopards? Right.
No, he had I mean I went with the successful guy. He had running walkers.
Instead of those big old long-eared Gaskins.
No, he had some running walkers and a blue tick or two, and he kind of had a smorgasbord of dog. Yeah, those are Jaguarundis. They come in different colors too. Most of them are kind of that color,
Yeah,
but some of them can be reddish and tan. Some of
some
them
of them
even
are
almost
dark
black.
too, aren't
Yeah,
they? Like almost black
yeah,
dark.
You want to
yeah,
come on next week and talk to Gavin?
yeah. We can. I'll
I,
ask him if he wants
We
to
got to
come on.
use up
he
Cody
he sent me a
while he's
message.
sitting around.
He sent me a message. He's got some kind of proposal for me or whatever, and I told him to come on our live Monday night, and he said he would try to get on here. So I figured since you've been over there and you hunted with him and everything, then that would be a neat conversation for us to listen in on.
You want me to see if he's up or what?
No, he already sent me a message. I
Oh,
just want to.
it's gonna be pretty tough because it's plus 7 hours. So 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 1, 2 in the morning where he lives.
He said he would do it. I mean, he said he'd see what he
Yeah.
could do. I told him he he contacted me, and he's got that Panther tracker or whatever, that website and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and he's looking for I think he's looking for help, for volunteers to help him do something. I don't know what it is, but he's
No,
supposed to.
he has that volunteer program that he does where he charges, like $3,500 or whatever, and you can go hell or 5,000. I don't know what it is. Don't quote me.
Oh yeah, I
But
remember that.
but you pay him $4,000 or whatever, and then you can go with him on a 21-day leopard hunt. Go on the leopard hunt. You help him with the dogs and all of that stuff. The client shoots the leopard, but you get to experience it all. Kind of. It's really a cool deal. It's
Well,
really cool.
he was kind of want to see if I could help promote that deal, is what he was doing.
Yeah, that's a cool experience. And those leopard hunts. I was talking about going again and maybe taking Tate, the young man that works with me, that hunts with me a lot. Them leopard hunts have gone up to $38,000. And,
Uh,
Gavin gave me a discount the first year I went over there, a pretty hefty discount. And then the second year I went and caught a cat, but I mean, it's just too much money. I can't afford to do it again. And if it wasn't for one lucky break contract, I wouldn't have been able to afford to do it to begin with. But if it wasn't for that contract, that's the only opportunity, that's the only possibility I could have ever had to go and see a leopard hunt and see a leopard treat, because I would have never been able to afford to go kill one.
so he's not running those Gaskins or is it Gaskins? Those big old blue Gaskins or
No.
whatever. He's
The white
running
dogs,
walkers. Yeah.
yeah. He's got some running walkers and some blue ticks. I mean, he's got some crossed up dogs. He's got a lurcher. Uh, he's got a dogo. Um, it doesn't. I got to be careful what I say.
Those Dogos have
It,
any trailing ability? They're
they're just
Catch dogs, right?
sacrifice dogs. Yeah. When they're hunting them leopards over baits, it don't take much dog. In fact, in all honesty, hunting them over baits, Gavin would be better off with a very, very good pack of cur dogs. But
yeah.
he's probably never seen a good pack of cur dogs. It's a different world, but hunting them leopards over them baits, a good pack of cur dogs would be better than hounds.
Are those leopards hard on dogs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're pretty rough. The ones that don't tree.
Well, that's any cat. Even a lion can be rough on a
Well,
dog.
yeah, if they don't tree.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, if they. I better not say anything. Keep my mouth shut.
Well, if you have a good,
I get in
smart
trouble
pack
too.
of dogs that keep their distance and know how to handle one on the ground, but like you get these dogs like the curs or the catahoula's that run in fast. That's when you get in trouble, and they get there before everybody
Yeah.
else.
I know that a lot of the jaguar hunters down south, they always wanted real mouthy dogs. They said if that dog better make a lot of noise running into that cat, because if he goes in silent, the cat will just kill him, ambush him and kill him. You want a lot of barking, a lot of noise to get that cat moving, before the dogs get there.
See, those dogs didn't
What's
get
that,
hurt.
bro?
Oh, that's a lion I caught up there on the mountain.
That lion just looks like one of the pack, man.
Yeah, I know. He just standing there and those dogs all
Yeah,
around
yeah,
him.
he's just standing there looking cool in that picture. It's a moment in time.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I didn't get him when he had his mouth open and his ears back and reaching with his claws. We lost Chris again. Every time I put up a picture, I lose Chris. No,
Send you some
Chris
more
just walked
pictures.
away. I couldn't tell the difference there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he just disappeared.
No, those dogs, they're not bad about that. I imagine if they're used to running in and killing their own bobcats, they might be a little more toothy on a lion.
Yeah.
But
So that the lion that did this, I had two dogs. They bait him on the ground, and then he broke and he went to get up a tree, and old Taco wasn't going to let him climb up that tree. But two of my dogs, one of them got a giant infection in his arm, just like I kind of did, and the other one got a giant infection in its head where it got clawed, and she lost her eye. And that lion took its revenge on us, man.
how can I watch
He's
this
back.
without? Chris is back. Where'd you go, Chris?
Old man stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I heard Stinker and her sister. Cody has the sister to Stinker and named it Trichinosa. But they blew out of here, and I think they're fighting coyotes out there. I hear them fighting coyotes out there. Get back. And I got two pit bulls, a Catahoula, a hound cross, and Stinker and her sister hang out in my office when I have the door open on these lives.
That one was in some. It was a female, but it was in some bighorn sheep range, so it had to be eliminated. If you could believe those old
Yeah.
flats out there was bighorn sheep range.
Well, I got Snore and Pronghorn
Was
out
the
here, and I
mountain
bumped
behind
into.
you?
Yeah, it was Ted Turner's place out there. I used to go hunt that.
When I travel around. The best thing you can do for advertisement, no matter what, even like just for my Arizona working dog, and to get word out, is travel around with 9 hounds and a mule. And my mule, she don't ride forward in a trailer. She rides backwards. And that new trailer I just built, the ramp's too high. So I have to cut it down because she likes to hang her head over the back. And I've been waiting to see a picture of my mule on some Facebook page somewhere because she just hangs her head over and watches traffic. But I just talked to somebody and they said, "Oh, what do you hunt?" I said, "Oh, bears and lions." And they had that. "Oh, really?" I said, "Well," they go, "There's lions out here." I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "They dropped those Sonoran pronghorn out here, and there's only like 200 United States, 150, 200. There's not very many." I said, "But they dropped those 22 of them, and a lion killed 7 of them right away." And their whole attitude changed right then. Right then. Really? Yeah. So, I mean, it's good advertisement. And I say 9, and they kind
I'm
of,
gonna
oh,
I'm gonna
Wait,
bite
what
here
is
a
it?
little bit, but did I miss something? Is that a bullshit story that you made up to tell them, or Sonoran what?
No, 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 no. It's called, so you have your regular pronghorn, right? The Sonoran pronghorn is a whole separate pronghorn. Look it up. There's like,
Well,
I want to say 400 in Mexico, and there's only a couple, I
okay,
think it's
I
under
got you.
200 here. And they transplanted
Yeah,
them from Ajo, Arizona, and they put them right in my dad's backyard. There's a little wilderness.
got you.
Bad thing, it's on reservation. It's close to reservation. And on the reservation, they have no laws. So if those suckers go over to reservation, they can kill them, just like bighorn sheep. Kind of
Hey,
crappy, but
do y'all?
that lion. Go ahead.
So it's a pronghorn, an
Yes.
antelope you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay, I follow you. I follow.
it looks just like a pronghorn. I think they're just a tad bit smaller, just a little different. It's called a Sonoran pronghorn. But they had them.
Hmm.
They brought 22 down to where they are. They brought 22 down, and they had them in a pen to breed. And that lion circled that pen the first week, so that lion already knew they were there. And then they let them go, and man, I think the first year they killed 7 of them, 6 of them. That one lion. So, and it's country just like
Yeah,
Brett's. It's just like Brett's country out there.
yeah.
Really dry, full of creosote, like tough country. So I've only caught the female a couple of times, but it's on the north side of the freeway, not where they are. So
Gotcha. Do y'all
yeah.
know how many subspecies of mountain lions there are?
no,
Have
I
y'all
don't.
ever looked into that? I thought that the Florida panther was its own subspecies, and it's not.
Well, they
Uh,
took a lot of those out of
but
Texas, right? Back in the day.
yeah, yeah, but even before it, but yeah, they say there's like 4 subspecies in South America, but we only have one. I was reading about
I
that.
don't know.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Wonder what the difference is on them. Is there much?
I don't know. That's kind of what I was curious. Is this what is this? If South America has 4 subspecies, I wonder if you could tell the difference in them.
I don't know. Like the Sonoran pronghorn against the American pronghorn or whatever they call the regular pronghorn, the antelope. They'd look really similar. Like I wouldn't tell the difference if you just seen them out there. Besides, they're all collared. Every one of them's collared. So,
Really?
yeah. But so then, is there any big cats that can crossbreed?
Oh
Jaguar,
yeah,
cheetah,
they can
lion,
all
mountain lion.
crossbreed. I mean,
So
in
a
a
jaguar
pen,
can
they
breed
can
a
all
lion.
crossbreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's ligers and tigers, and I think
Oh
in
yeah, you're right.
captivity, that they'll all kind of interbreed, but I don't think it happens in the wild. I know
Huh.
that I read an article the other day about they crossed a mountain lion with an ocelot in captivity. The babies didn't live though, but they crossed her several times. I mean, and they lived for a little while, but they didn't grow up into adulthood.
Well, I wonder why.
What's that say, Brett?
Cody, you
Cody,
still
you
haven't
still
answered about your pajamas. Be sure you wear them to the therapist tomorrow.
are they silk pajamas?
Make sure they got that trap door in the back.
Yeah. Now, Rick's got me worried because I thought that was just a really, really, really nice guy. He was massaging my hands
Uh, it, and it wasn't even
I
his
just thought he
bad
had
hand.
something in his eye. He kept winking at me a little bit. I said, "Yeah, I'll meet you here in the morning. You're gonna fix
Come
me
before they
up,
open.
all right."
Come a little early before they open. I'll
Oh.
let you in early.
Hope none of our woke guests get protest y'all having
Well,
me on with the
if they're
anti-homosexual activity going on.
if they're watching this, I doubt they're too woke.
Gonna say if they're
Yeah.
too woke, they shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Did Benny get back from Texas?
I have no idea.
When I thought
Benny won't talk to me. Yeah, or he hasn't called me or anything. Thought he would. He got mad at me.
when he got
He
mad
got
at
divorced.
you?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I lost my temper too. But I mean, we could have fought it out here, just argued and got over it. But those welders, those old
yeah,
welders. That's what they say. They roll them up.
yeah. Roll it. Time to go, man.
Yeah,
Roll it up.
roll them up. I'm out of here.
Florida Panthers
Uh,
have webbed feet. Wonder if that's true.
yeah, that's not true, but maybe you never know.
He makes just a.
I'll
That's
throw
not
the.
true, but maybe.
I
Yeah.
got. I got. I got to put a little disclaimer in there.
That's not true. Maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
we have nobody to guarantee it no more because Brett ran him off.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
Uh,
to.
a good
Can you teach?
friend of mine is down there capturing those Florida Panthers. In fact, he's just about done. But Roy McBride used to do it, and he took over Roy's job. I'm colorblind, guys.
So
I
did you
can't
So
see
did
accept
you?
that?
reds.
Did you accept that free prostate exam, Cody?
They told me I had to sign for consent, so I I knew I should have read that form, man.
It's like that little doctor I got. He's a little bitty guy, and he's from India or something, and he's like 5'2", little bitty guy. And I had to go. He's my regular doctor, and of course I'm 63, so I have to have that exam done. And he popped that rubber glove on. I said, "Oh man." He looked at me and he says, "I do not like this any more than you do."
Listen, if you stay still
After
one finger, move around, it's going to be two.
after my little cancer scare last year, I went to the doctor and I told my doctor, I said, "Doctor, I want to get everything tested. I'm 40 years old." And she said, "All right, we'll do some blood work, la da da da, this and that." And finally, the blood work all came back good. And I told him, I said, "Man, I don't want to be the guy that dies because I didn't want to have a prostate exam. Do it, and you really don't need it. You're only 40. You're not that old.
Did you say
Blood work
please,
looks good."
please?
And I said, "Man, I just don't want to be that guy." And finally, he got frustrated. He goes, "Look, if I stick my finger up your ass, I will. But you don't need a prostate exam. You're 40 years old." I said, "Yes, sir. I'm going home. Blood work will do."
Yeah. Well, that
So,
Speaking of that, I have to go have a biopsy this coming Thursday. So, whoop, froze everybody up.
up on me.
There you are.
There's somebody.
Froze up for a little
Yeah.
while.
But a good friend of mine died because he didn't want to go get that done, and by the time they
Yeah.
found it, it was everywhere. And
No, I have to have a biopsy
it's
this Thursday. Just I got a bad place on my lip. It's from being, what do they call it? Pigment impaired. I get sunburned real easy.
yeah. Yeah, I got skin cancers. I got to go get cut off of me
Oh, they burn them
or
off of my
froze off of
arms.
me.
All those little scars on my arms where they burn them off of me for forever.
Now we lost Chris.
Well, he was here. Just I heard him. I heard him try to get in. Whoop, there he is. There he is.
But well, guys, I sure enjoyed y'all having me on. It was a good break. I've been laid up and not being able to hunt much. Getting to talk to y'all kind of broke the monotony a little bit. I appreciate it.
You bet, Cody. Thanks for stopping in.
I've been back. I have been on a couple of hunts here close by the house, and so I'm easing back into it. My dad and my wife, they kind of give me shit when I tell them I'm going hunting, but I wrap this thing up pretty good, and I don't leave the truck. I take somebody with me. They can go and handle the dogs for me and all this good stuff. But we'll be back to 100% pretty soon, or 95%. Depends how good that therapist is. But
Cody's still planning on coming up here and hunting with me.
I'm I'm gonna come up there. We're gonna hunt the river where you hunt, and then maybe make a welta over to mountain range somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to come up there and run my dogs through that country, see how they do.
I'll
Let
see if
you
they catch.
film it. Ben Sheets filmed me catching a skunk, so at this point, I don't care. You can film whatever you want to.
Maybe we'll catch a javelina.
We won't catch a javelina. I'll bet that my dogs won't run a javelina. I won't bet on anything else, but I'll bet they won't run a javelina. Y'all
You
ever?
got to
So
get that
Brett,
on
those
film.
javelinas where you live, you ever have problems with those javelinas in your area coming to the dogs when the dogs are barking, trailing?
Absolutely. I got a video of it.
Yeah,
I was up
really.
there. Matter of fact, it was right. I think it was the same day I caught that. No, it was right in the same canyon. I caught that big tom at down in the Floridas, and I was riding up the canyon, and they have, of course, when they have babies, they're real aggressive.
Yeah,
And I always say the same thing. They fight like those guys I used to have to fight when I was a kid. They don't fight fair. You got to fight their
they
cousin
don't
and their
they
brother and
don't
their
fight
uncle,
fair.
everybody else.
Yeah,
And they of course the dogs didn't have anything to do with them. I mean, the dogs,
yeah.
they all came back to me, and every now and then I'll get a dog from South Texas from a guy down there who runs bobcats. That will absolutely go catch
Javelina
you a
running
javelina. And then he'll talk some of my good broke dogs into going and catching a javelina too. Jack is pretty
That's
rough
right.
on javelinas. He likes them.
Yeah,
And then one of the best things I've ever heard is that dog broke. Yeah, that dog's broke in broke company. So
that's
sometimes
right.
some of those dogs aren't very broke when they have somebody else talking them into something.
I got a
I
bunch of
have one.
dogs that are broken.
I have one spot. If I tree a bear or run anything, those coyotes come in. Same spot. Same spot. I'll have a tree and those coyotes will
Yeah, I've
start
seen
really
coyotes
going
coming.
bad. Mm-hmm.
What really bothered me is when I discovered that the dogs will really cold trail a coyote. I don't like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now, when you think of game, when you think of them running trash, usually it's a hot race. Usually they're running it, but
yeah.
they'll
Jumped out in front of it.
But I've
yeah.
caught them. I caught them this morning. Cold trailing a coyote. I went up and made a big circle up here with that female lion had walked through that canyon, and she hasn't been back. And I got out and hiked on the side of the mountain up there, and gosh darn it, jumping Jack Flash out there just bawling on a track, and the other dogs went up there. And now Timmy went up there, and he said no, he didn't. That's why I hiked my butt up on the side of that mountain to make sure I could find a track, and I went up there and seen it. And sure enough, it's a little coyote track going through there. I don't catch enough lions to be too hard on them, but I was pretty dang hard on them this time.
Well, you know what happens?
Yeah.
Because I had to hike so far up there.
You know what happens, Brett? There's a guy told me one time that the coyotes will sleep inside of the scratches. So then it smells like a lion.
There you go.
Yeah. That's Ruben used to say that. He said, "Man, we'd get them dogs for running an old coyote, and we'd get in the truck, and he'd say, 'Man, must have been a dead bobcat, and that coyote ate it, and that's why them dogs wanted to run it.'"
Or those I've
But
heard. Well, like those coyotes will come in. A lion will kill something. Those coyotes come in and try to take it, but then the lions will kill one of the coyotes. That's why they say that 60% of these female lions that live out here in the desert, 60% of their diet is coyotes.
yeah,
But I think it's because the coyotes come in, and now this is what Richard Dickerson had told me, that the coyotes would come in and try to take that kill from the lion, and the lion will kill one of the coyotes and just eat it too.
yeah. They I've found down here these lions eat raccoons.
Raccoons?
They eat a lot of raccoons. Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because we have a lot of raccoons, but that's these ranchers and deer hunters. They have a lion come in, and they're just so worried that the lion's going to kill all their deer, and it's like, man, lions eat deer. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
yeah.
but they eat a lot of other stuff too. You know.
What I've been curious about is if they'll actually kill one of these oryxes out here. I'm sure they can kill a young oryx, a baby or whatever. But a
Yeah.
mature oryx, I'd like to see.
They kill those big
No.
elk sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I caught a tom off of not a bull elk, but a cow elk. I mean, it was a mature cow. She was a big sucker. But these oryx, I mean, they're nasty critters.
Yeah. I know jaguars eat a lot of cows. I've never experienced in all of my years of hunting and being a bobcat hunter that tried to catch a few lions now and then. I've only encountered one time where a lion ate a calf. And lions, every ranch that I catch lions on has hundreds and hundreds of cattle. And down here, losing cattle to a lion is just not a thing. I don't know about it,
Let me
but
see if I
have
can.
y'all ever seen lions eat cattle?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to find. I caught a big tom down here that had killed a big a big a big calf. I mean, not a yearling. I can't
Really?
find
Like
it yet.
600 pounder.
Yeah, I got a video here of it somewhere. I don't think I've ever shared it.
That's how I got on a ranch because a guy lost like 22 calves to a lion. Probably a lion. It was probably female and kittens. That's when they really start
Yeah.
tearing stuff up. But that's how I got on a ranch.
I can't find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but not like those jaguars. Did you get? Is there a lot of human jaguar interaction down there as far as coming in and messing with people?
That I know of. I'm sure it exists, but
Those
I,
guys don't
I've
report it.
heard. Yeah, yeah. It's happening to the guys in the Hedos. They don't report it.
Well, they don't got ring doorbells and they don't got social media that they're on every day. And another one of that guy's arguments. That Ed guy saying there's not no jaguar attacks because we don't hunt them. That's why they don't attack. The only reason mountain lions attack because we hunt them. But I was just wondering why. And are they? They're not strictly. Are they strictly nocturnal, or are they out all the time? Those jaguars.
Um, I don't know. All that I can tell you is that the two that I caught were moving at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
yeah. So they
And
moved
there's a
in. Yeah, I don't think anything's strictly nocturnal. I mean, a few animals are for sure, but
yeah
uh,
ringtail cat.
they you look at a graph. I wish I had a pen and I would I would draw it, but it's data from bobcats that have been collared, and it shows their movement for every hour of the day, and it's one of those graphs that comes up and down and up and down, and it peaks at sunrise and sunset, and there's a name, we call it nocturnal, but there's a name for animals that just move mostly at sunrise and sunset. I don't know the name of it, uh but uh but yeah, if you graph their charts, the peaks are at sunrise and sunset, and then you take an ocelot and you graph their movements, and the peak is at midnight. So they are way much more nocturnal than a bobcat, but that doesn't mean you can't see one during the day.
Well, especially like the guy who caught that one in the Hawachucas, he probably just bumped it up and out of a den somewhere, or just taking a nap, and the guy bumped into it and he treated it.
Yeah. No.
I don't have the picture of the calf, but this is the lion that killed the big calf.
It's
It's a good sized lion
That's
or a little guy.
That guy's 6'4".
That's a big belly.
That guy's 6'4". He'd killed a big old calf.
You're full of meat. Yeah.
I know they caught a lion here
There's
this
the
year.
same lion.
Well, probably last year.
Look at his teeth and his ears.
Fighter.
Yeah.
But I heard it was 170 pounds empty when they brought it in.
I bet that lion
the
there weighed.
taxidermist.
I bet that lion weighed 160 pounds right there. He was a big sucker, and he was full of
Yeah.
meat. He had killed that. He had killed a big calf.
Yeah.
I thought I had a
The
picture
biggest
of the
lion that I
calf
ever,
somewhere.
the biggest lion that I ever caught weighed 129 pounds. Tom.
In Texas.
Yeah, in South
That's
Texas.
That's a good desert lion. 130-pound cat's a good desert lion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I've seen bigger on pictures and stuff, but just the biggest that I've ever caught.
It's like they say, 100-pound lion's not a big lion, but a 100-pound cat is a huge cat.
It's a big
Think
cat.
about it.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody
Yeah.
that could come on and talk about jaguars that speaks a little English, Cody?
Yeah.
Or that would come on?
Oh, what you call it down there? I bet he could come on. He speaks
Tony
English.
Rivera.
Tony Rivera. Yeah.
He speaks English. He speaks good English.
I
Good
think
enough?
it's broken English.
That's good
Yeah,
enough.
good enough.
I'd like to get him on
Yeah.
and just buzz him about the Jaguars. I think everybody'd like to know. I would love to tree a Jaguar just for aesthetics, pictures, just to get a picture.
How about
Yeah.
do you have any of those, Cody?
Monkeys, as Jared calls them. Cudamonde,
What is that?
Quaddy.
Cudamonde.
Oh.
Cuda Monday.
We don't have those. They're down in Mexico.
They're
But
cute
we don't
little
get them
monkeys
here.
that like to just destroy a dog if they want to.
They can. They say they turn upside down and claw their throat out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Jared loves monkeys.
Yeah, they had them down.
When you have tough dogs, that's what happens to a lion on the ground.
Is that a greyhound?
I caught that lion. I caught that.
Holy
lion.
hell. Look at that. Res hounds.
There's my
How long's
buddy.
it been? He hadn't been on here for a while. Someone said they tried to call him and couldn't get hold of him.
He's been out hunting. We're the only ones that.
Well,
There you go. Here's another one. I'm showing off a little bit tonight. I don't ever show anything. That was a Tom. No. That was that female.
That was that female in the river, wasn't it?
No, this one was up in the mountains up there by my camp.
Mm. That's pretty cool.
we caught one with a.
I wanna go run a bear. I've never ran a bear with hounds. I saw one down in Mexico a while back, and to be honest, I did try to maybe clap my dogs onto it a little bit and see if maybe they would run it. But they would not. They absolutely would not even consider it. I even put all my old dogs in the truck and figured I could talk maybe some of my young pups into being bandits for a little bit, and they wouldn't do it.
This was a nice Tom. I'd pay a lot of money to have some of those dogs that wouldn't run a bear.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad Tom.
Trying to find one. Where did I have it? There it is.
Kind of get a better size of him there.
He's long.
Look how green it was there, though.
Yeah, that's not where you hunt now. That's
No,
for
that
sure.
that was good trailing conditions on that day.
Oh, did I send that to you? I think I did.
I think you did.
One I caught a few years back.
That hasn't come in yet. Chris is the
I used
one.
to run
You
a-
need to go see Chris. He'll take you to get some bears. Now, Chris catches bears.
Man, it was a horrible.
I've
what?
never run one.
There you go.
There's a whole. Just wasn't a good lion season.
There's two
Not
big
a lot of
bears in
lions
that
caught
tree.
Let me see here. Trying to find. Gosh dang it! I sent you another picture. I don't know if it's going to come
Okay.
through.
Yeah, I just got one. I'm not through showing off a little bit yet.
I want to take your thunder. Good thing about
Those
this is
are
I
all
can.
in New Mexico, Brett.
Yeah.
Have you ever caught a lion anywhere other than New Mexico, Brett?
No.
No.
I went. The only other place I went and hunted was Nevada. I went up there and I hunted for 5-6 days, and I just stayed lost the whole time. I never even hit a lion track. So this, at the very least, is a 20-hour-old track. That's not too bad. Well, we're running out of time. It's going to get hot here in a little while. I bet they got her in a cave hole. hate that. Wish they could just put her up on a big old rock. No, Sarah. Get out! He wasn't very happy. He wasn't very happy. That's the one I screwed up on. I told you about that, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did.
I was going to kill him. I thought, well, I'll kill him, and of course I had to get the dogs out of there, And then I didn't want to climb in that cave and shoot that lion, because you know how it is with your dogs. When you start getting in there close, they get tough. I mean, they just think they're really tough. They think that you're in there and we're going to attack this thing. So I got them all out and everything. It got really hot that day, so they all went down and bedded down under some trees. And I thought, wow, that lion's going to come out of that cave. So I climbed up on top of the rock above that cave, and I had my 30-30. And I said, I'll just shoot that sucker when he comes out. Had all day. I wasn't in a hurry. And I sat there and got about half sleepy and everything like that. And that lion come out of that cave, and I already had a bullet chambered. And I went to chamber another one, and my gun jammed.
Yep.
But I went back the next day, took the dogs right to that spot, and trailed him from that spot and caught him again.
That was really cool.
He went all the way up the canyon, back and around, and just was wandering around in there hunting, really. And then we jumped him and got him out on a bluff. So and that's if you can see that skull, there's a skull back there somewhere. You can't see it. It's on the shelf back there. That was him.
Oh, you stupid man.
Okay, Chris's turn to show off a little bit.
There's one I caught.
Guys, I'm fixing before Chris starts showing off, I'm gonna have to show myself to bed. Is that a bear?
He's comfortable in that tree, isn't he?
Oh, that's not mine.
That's not yours? You sent it to me. Oh, no, somebody else
No,
sent it
that's
to me.
the double. That's Res Hound.
That's Res
the bear
Hound.
and the lion.
Oh, the bear and the lion in the tree. Now that's who does that? The only place you can do that is on the reservation, right?
I was sending these for Cody here. These are a couple bears. Get him excited.
That
one
is
of them
something right there. Now I bet nobody else in the world has done that, have they? Bear and a lion. All you need is a bobcat in the tree, and then you'll be all right. Gosh darn, Chris, couldn't you find any little bears?
Let me tell you something about this. And I was being a conservationist, wildlife management. That was a sow.
You're kidding.
And I tried everything in my power to make that a boar. I checked her teeth. I looked for gray hairs, something to make it where I could shoot that. I threw a rock, hit her in the center of her belly right there, and it was like a waterbed. I took a one-legged lady up that hill, and I wouldn't let her shoot it because it was a healthy sow. There's a couple other ones.
That's a nice bear right there.
Okay, that's another sow. Look at the head on that. Does that look like a sow to you?
No.
I seen balls on her. She was so fat. She was sitting on a branch, and it had a big wad of fat on her. And I said, that's a boar. And I didn't find – that's the one I tried to stab with my Bowie knife because I was eating that dog on the right, that red dog. It had that dog clinched up. Look at the paws on that. It was clinched up, and I ran up to stab it because it was archery season, and I didn't want to shoot it and have the game warden hear me. And that son of a gun turned and came at me, and I looked around, everybody's gone. So I was the slowest one, and it died. It took about 4 steps and died.
We need to go over there, Cody, with Chris and catch some bears and make a video.
Yeah, this is the first sow I shot because we had to roll her in 80 yards in a wheelchair to get this. It was like one of those, it was late season. It ran 300 yards. I could only get in about 200. I had to wheel her in. Stop. I had to wheel her in about 80 yards on all that Malapai rock. And that she shot it, and that damn bear hit every branch coming out. And she literally cried about it. And I said, I'm kind of mean to people. I'm like, hey, don't be a sissy. And as soon as we got it done, she goes, "Are we going to go get a lion now?" It ain't going to be 300 yards off the road.
She got that killing in her blood. Then she want to go
Yep.
get some now.
Yeah. And then that next set of pictures I sent you is a cancer kid. He is 22 years old, made it through cancer, and
wow!
I did a hunt of a lifetime.
That is a pretty lion right there.
That was a pretty lion. It was actually in the snow. You don't see it, but it was in the snow. And we were helping
you
that
can make
guy.
up any. You don't have to be that honest, Chris.
I mean, there was so dry ground there that you spit and it would dry before it hit the ground. We helped the guy. He actually trailed it most of the way, and my dogs were treed really good. So once we got him started, and he actually walked out, and then we got him treed. And then the next day, we caught another lion. That lion there, it looks big, but I think it was only 135 pounds, empty.
It looks like a real pretty lion.
It was a really gorgeous lion. And then I don't have a picture of the second one we caught the next day, but they shot it with a bow, came out of the tree, almost ran into me. I think that's the one. It jumped, and we treated it in a...
Shoot back. Let's see if get more.
Kind of hard to tell anybody that's dry ground lion hunting right there.
I AI'd the snow in so Robert Chase wouldn't feel so bad.
Oh, are you on a podcast?
No.
You are on a podcast.
She wanted a cookie. You're welcome.
So that next set of pictures I sent you is a cancer kid.
Look at this
and it was down in... Oh, that's a nice one.
Look at the size of the mug on that thing.
Yeah.
Look how they say that when you look at a bear, you look at their ears to see how small their ears look.
Yep.
And that'll tell you whether it's a big bear or not. You got to go, Cody.
Hey guys, my phone's on 1%, man. I'm gonna lose y'all, but I sure enjoyed it. I thank everybody for the well wishes. Again, I really, really, really thank Maddie for the cookies, and we'll see y'all soon. Next time I talk to y'all, I'll have some hunting stories.
There you go, Cody. Take care of yourself.
Either that or I'm going to be moving in with my therapist. One of the two. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Cody.
Everybody.
Look at the old Res Hound's got some neat pictures.
Yeah. Oh, that's an ugly, good-looking bear.
He looks like a fighter. Look at that eye.
Well, his nose is tore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take that. I would love to have that taxidermied exactly like that too.
I got a video of a bear I caught that was in a tree, and he's at the very top of the tree in his old head. He's a cinnamon bear. I got it somewhere. I've never killed a bear. I've caught a few, but
I've only killed one.
I've never killed one.
I'm embarrassed to show it. I'm embarrassed to show it. That thing was only about 140, 150 pounds, but it was our first bear with dogs, so I did what I had to do. Let me see. Oh, here's another one. I'll download it and send it to you from Tim. Real pretty lion. You could tell the coat on them lions up north is fabulous. They're gorgeous. So the one I sent you with the kid in it, well, he's older. I can tell you that story once you get that up. If it should have already, it says delivered.
It takes a little while for it to get here.
Yeah. Tim sent a real pretty lion too. I was trying to find that first bear I got. I might not even posted it. It's so little. Oh, there it is. I don't even look that big. I don't even want to.
Let me see. Who's lion? This lion? You're talking about this lion?
No, that lion there. Which one you got?
Or is this Res Hounds?
That's Tim's. Tim Brinks.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty, and it looks thick. Look at that baseball bat he got coming out of his butt.
Man, that is a big old tail, ain't it?
That's ridiculous. That my cousin, we was talking about one of those lions I just sent you, and same thing, had a huge tail on it. And that kid on the left, playing football at 17 years old, passes out on the field, end up having leukemia.
Oh,
and he
no.
got rid of it. He got out of it, and then he had put in for a hunt when he was dying. So he got a lifetime, and we got that lion. That lion, I had Amber Marshall and Brandon Hancock helping, and we literally stopped for lunch. We seen lion tracks in a wash, stopped for lunch. They walked up the hill just peeking around, and I walked up and around. I had to be only 40 yards from the lion. It was in a cedar tree hanging out, and she comes popping over the hill and says, "There's a lion right here." They only had one dog on it, 1 or 2 dogs on it. and they were fighting it under this tree. So we like just let dogs go to get it treed. There should have been a bunch of pictures of that, but
Huh. Can't find one.
and the only lion I've ever killed, I didn't have dogs at the time. We were hunting, and it was across the canyon. So I had shot it. It was like 300 yards. Let me see. I'll see if I can save. It was all right. It was a little female lion. Wasn't ridiculously big, but it was big enough.
Big enough.
Let me see here. Photos.
That first lion doesn't have to be very big.
No, I cheated my dad out of it. He shot and missed, and it stood there. And I ran over to him because he was deer hunting. And I said, deer? He goes, no, there's a lion over there. And there's like, I don't know, 300 yards across the canyon. Oh, about 200 and something. And he was shooting open sight. And he goes, it's under that tree, pine tree. And I said, I don't see it. He goes, no, the dead one. Man, soon, and I didn't hear him say, watch, tell me where I'm hitting. I seen that thing hit my scope, and I said, boom. You got it. That's all I have that I've kind of posted.
There you go.
I'm trying to.
Something for since we're doing this. Let me see if I can do, I gotta do one more. My bear hunting. That Garmin says, every single dog's treat. Go, where'd he go? Get Good dogs, let's go. You did good, let's go. That's good dogs, let's go. Come on, let's go find the lion now. Come on, good dog. Let's go. Okay, come on, let's go, guys. Bobby J, good. Or bear, excuse me.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Tonight was just telling lies.
Yep.
That's about it. Guys, we've been here 2 hours.
Good enough for a Monday night.
Yes, sir. Anything you need to part with?
I don't know. I sent you a picture of
let me see.
a flyer. Show that flyer. It has a picture of a side-by-side on it.
I don't have it. I got pictures of a guy carrying a lion out over his shoulders. Is that the leukemia boy?
Yes. Yeah, I sent you Tim sent this one of a lion, an angry lion. I'll send you. Yeah. So she was 110 pounds. Anybody wants to win a dog box? And you guys got to keep attention because we may have another XL or Garmin or $1,100 raffle coming.
I seen somebody comment on your thing, said that it almost sounds like you're giving away a side by side, but no, it doesn't, because you have custom fit in
side by side dog box.
Maybe you should change it. Here's your chance to win a dog box, custom fit for a side by side.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
just saying. I just read that. I would have known different.
It says custom fit side by side dog box. Well, not everybody's genius. There we have it. Got it. Better get in February. Better get in on it.
Especially when we get old.
Yep.
We can tell lies. We can tell, like I said,
$1,000 dog box.
It's my story. I can tell it how I want to.
Exactly. Enjoyed it. Thanks again for sharing your thoughts. Well, there you go, guys.
Guys, thanks for stopping in. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's good to see Cody again.
Keep an eye on that California stuff too, guys. See if you can be able to see how many Arizonans and New Mexicans and everybody's going to go hunt California when they open up bear again for dogs.
Tim says that lion chewed that limb right off the tree. Bueno pues. Hasta luego. Thank you.
Another day. Wednesday.
Antidote of the house. I would have been there last Wednesday, but I was with Bency, and we made a 16.5-mile circle, and I got in kind of late, and I was worn smooth out.
His mule looks a little small, too. He has a little small mule he rides?
Yeah, but most all those mules were pretty small.
Yep.
And
I like them small.
I think I do, too. My mule, I had a problem with her. She flat gave out on me, went down on her knees. I thought she was going to tumble there for a minute.
You think she's just out of shape? Like go.
Yeah, she was a little out of shape, and I think she's testing me. I mean, we're going through the heats right now. When I first got her, she walked out real fast and everything. She had just been babied all her life, and she's not an old mule. She's a young mule, and she had been babied, and she hadn't been made to work hard. So, here in the last a couple of months, I've been working her pretty hard, and I think she just tested me being a mule. I put those spurs on, and I did 17.35 miles Friday up rough country up there by my old camp, and she never faltered. I had to kick her pretty hard, but she respected those spurs.
Yeah, I thought mine don't do too bad. She usually just goes. If she's not going, there's probably a reason for it. So I haven't really had to put spurs on, but I don't know. Bensie probably rides straight through more than I do. I do.
He didn't go. I mean, we didn't go any places any different than what I do.
Huh?
But
But his mule's always going, right? Like he's always hunting on that mule.
Yeah, I mean, my jet mule was about that size, and I'm a big guy, and he carried me everywhere I wanted to go. I mean, this mule, Bonnie, it's not what Mike did. It's Bonnie just decided she was going to get as my granddad said, she got a little shit in her blood.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided just to quit me, which I had that mule I borrowed do the same thing, quit me. She got up underneath a tree and just quit me. And I put a shock collar under her britch and got her out of there.
Well.
But, yeah, no, just being a mule. But like I said, I went up Friday. I went all the way from the bottom of Cave Creek to the very top. And I had to let her stop and blow about 5 times. But she never offered to quit me or nothing. So it wasn't that big a deal.
Well.
But anyway.
Another day, another way.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
We'll see you. Thank you.
Later.